Okay, it is 9 o'clock. We shall bring the meeting to order. I trust everyone had a lovely and fun-filled Canada Day. The weather was the weather, and nonetheless, we got through it. So, on that thinking, let's rise as you're able, and we'll sing "O Canada."
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you. Councillor John, would you offer the land acknowledgement, please?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. As we gather, we recognize and acknowledge the traditional keepers of this land with whom we share today. The Township of Southgate is a part of the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, Six Nation of the Grand River, Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, Haudenosaunee, and Saugeen Métis. The land that surrounds us is part of who we are, as it reflects our histories. May we live in peace and friendship with all its diverse people.
Thank you, Joan. Madam Deputy Clerk, is there anyone registered for open forum?
None today. Thank you, Mayor Milne.
Very good, thank you. Can I have a confirmation of today's agenda, please? Jim, Jason, all those in favor? That is carried. Is there any declaration of interest related to any item on today's agenda? Not seeing any. If one should arise during the course of the meeting, you can, of course, declare it at any time. Adoption of the minutes of the June 17th council meeting as presented. Someone care to move? Barb and Joan will second. Any discussion? All those in favor? That is carried. Reports of municipal officers. We're going to start this morning with emergency services. I see Chief Melnick is on the line. This is an application for a firework bylaw exemption. Someone care to move this, please? Jim will move that. Second. Joan, thank you. Welcome, Derek. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, members of council. This report is an exemption for the fireworks bylaw request. As council may remember, this applicant was here last year around the same time. They do an annual tradition for Labor Day of setting off fireworks, where they invite all the neighboring properties to attend. We did exempt the request last time, and there was no complaints received to our knowledge by bylaw. So we're just supporting them and hoping council will provide exemption again, just because they are one of the handful of people that are following our firework bylaw and putting in requests. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Council, any questions, discussion? We do, of course, appreciate everyone following the rules as they are, and this is an example of that, as the chief said. So, all those in favor? That is carried. Thank you, Chief. Moving on to library services, we have Lacey Russell with us here this morning. Good morning, Lacey.
Good morning, everyone.
Would someone care to move this, please? Barb will move that. Joan will second. Welcome, Lacey. Floor is yours.
So unfortunately, I had to come today to ask you guys to pull some funding to replace our geothermal unit here, one of the two units here at the library. As you can see from a report, that there was 3 options and that staff are recommending that we replace it with a similar unit for consistency.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from council, discussion? Not seeing any. We want to keep you cool, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim, sorry.
Yeah, good morning, good people. As the report was stated too, there was another option for consideration, and it was a 3-month out window. So we're in prime time of needing air conditioning right now at the library.
Yep.
So we had to go with the other options that were a little bit more higher price, but nonetheless. As well, today, we're going to post that the one half of the library that does have air conditioning is where the book side is, that we're going to be open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. for a cooling center option in Dundalk.
Very good. Thank you, Jim. Okay, on the motion, all those in favor? That is carried. Thank you, Lacey. Moving on to Public Works, we have one report here regarding culvert supply tender recommendation. Someone care to move that, please? Joan will move that. Jim will second. Thank you. John.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Through the chair, this is just we put out a tender for culvert supply for the 3 big culverts that we're changing this year. And the low bid was Carson Supply for a total of $97,349. They were our supplier last year and we had no issues, so we're recommending we go with them again.
Very good. Thank you, John. Questions, discussion? Not seeing any. I'll call the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you, John. Finance Department, the annual treasurer's statement regarding development charges for 2025. Someone care to move that, please? Barb, second by Joan. Thank you. Taylor, welcome.
Thank you and good morning. And through you, Mr. Mayor, I'm bringing forward the 2025 annual treasurer statement for the development charges. This is new legislation brought out through Bill 60 that we have to issue it to MMAH by July 15th. So as you'll know, these statements are not audited yet, so there could be adjustments in here, but these are the development charges as current in our financial system.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions, discussion? Not seeing any. I'll call the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you, Taylor. Legislative Services, Clerk's Department. We have a report, couple of reports. The first one is regarding the Integrity Commissioner selection. An update. Would someone care to move that, please? Jason and Monica will second. Holly.
Thank you, through the mayor. This is just a report that Lindsay had written as an update on the Integrity Commissioner selection. Through the County of Grey, all the lower 2 municipalities have been working together. Previously, we had planned to do Integrity Commissioner recruitment through an RFP process, but through some discussions decided that a recruitment would be better. So that's kind of the outline of this report, but I can answer any questions if there are any.
Very good. Thank you, Holly. Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Next report is regarding a noise exemption request from Linda Amorgowicz. How'd I do? Pretty good? All right. I need a mover, please. Barb, second by Monica, or Joan rather. Holly.
Thank you, through the mayor. This is a report just requesting an exemption from the Township of Southgate noise bylaw. We received an exemption for a wedding on August 8th at a property in Holstein. The exemption would go until 1 a.m. on August 9th, which is a Sunday. There's no immediate neighbors that would be affected, and it'll be about 55 people attending and all immediate family. So we're just asking for support of that.
Very good. Thank you. Questions? Yeah, indeed. Another request to follow the rules. Excellent. Not seeing any discussion. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you, Holly. HR Department. We have a report here regarding market evaluation. Jim? Oh, wait, sorry, Jim, I interrupt. I need a mover and a seconder for these, please, first. Joan? And Barb, thank you. Jim?
Would council move these reports down the line a little bit? Just Kayla's having some connection issues
Oh.
right now.
Sure. That's, was anyone object to that? No? Okay, let's do that. Hold that thought, Holly. All right, we'll move to the CAO reports. There's a couple there, 3 actually. The first one is regarding implementing a water and wastewater public corporation model. May have seen some discussion in the media about that. Jim, we'll move that. Monica, will you second that? Thank you. Jim?
Yeah, we've kind of touched on this in the past. I've mentioned it that it's been looked at in different areas, and now the Ministry of Affairs or Municipal Affairs and Housing are looking for comments if you're interested. And I think it's something that we should explore and look a little deeper into. It gives us more options for financing water and wastewater infrastructure in the future, and longer debt repayment with the structuring with public entities being able to participate. It does not take any away from any municipal context of the board and how that exercises the public interest. So right now, I think if council recommends that we pursue to comment on this, that we look further. Staff have had some conversations with some others that have are not implementing, but they do implement for others. We've had those conversations with a consultant, not necessarily saying we're going that way, but have gathered information that with that resource as well. And I have had discussions with Mapleton CAO, Manny Barron, regarding they have implemented this not too long ago. And at a couple weeks ago, we were at the Western Ontario CAO forum, and this was brought up during those discussions. And Manny had offered to bring his expertise and their findings to a future provincial or like a Western area forum again for more information. So the Ministry of Affairs and Housing is looking into setting that up. So it's something, this model gives us more flexibility in the future for water, wastewater infrastructure.
Very good. Thank you, Jim. That's an interesting proposal, that's for sure. Taylor, did you want to add anything at all, or from a financial standpoint?
Just that we, had some preliminary discussions. And that obviously it's a lot to look into both financially and legally as well before we make any kind of requests or issue something to council. So.
Very good. Okay. Any questions from council? Barb, please.
Thank you and good morning. I see the benefit, but I also wonder through this exploration, as long as we are not obligated at the end of the day, should there be any hesitation, the financial model, great, but the liability and the responsibility for the system still falls squarely on the municipality and the council. And so having that extra arm, another level of agency, another level of oversight, not necessarily a bad thing, but I would want that to be fleshed out for sure, because it's still our responsibility to ensure the most efficient and safest drinking water system that we can provide. So I'm in support of exploring it further. Thanks.
Good comments. I would note that we already do something sort of similar with the Wellington North Power. They have a separate corporation that administers that corporation, and we are part of that, of course, as shareholders. So we do already have a similar type setup that would give us some guidance as to how it might play out. Any other questions, discussion? Joan, please.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I know this might be a little off, or I don't know, I'm just asking because I get bombarded a lot of times with the question, why, why our water bills are so high? I'm paying like $200 a month for water and it's cheaper elsewhere. Will this public corporation model or anything like this, will this lower water bill, or is there anything like that in the making?
Taylor?
This would not lower the water bill. The infrastructure is what it is, and the corporation would still own that. I think actually there would be more finance charges, there would be more audit charges because this would be audited as an individual entity. The finance department would have to treat it as an individual entity, so we would have to do two systems of finances. So wouldn't say that they would go down unless there is a desire of council to push out infrastructure.
Yep.
So will it make it higher? You're saying that the water bill might? be
Likely,
higher?
like the water infrastructure would have to pay for its own finances.
I don't think this is gonna come across good at precedence.
Jim?
Yeah, well, we just recently had the water and wastewater rate study and financial plan presented. And again, those are based on the amount of users for the system. So those bigger places that have 100,000 people or whatever, to divide it up into what they've got to work with, make the water bill come down. But in our situation, we got to base it on the numbers that we have to provide the payback for the systems. Take another smaller municipality like Chatsworth, who have even less people on a system, trying to maintain those systems, the cost is even higher. So it is balanced out as best as it can be, but again, that would be set by the board and approved by council on rates coming forward in the future.
Thank you.
Barb?
Thank you, and thank you, Jim, because you reminded me about a report that came recently, earlier in the year, whereby they did a study where we fall with maybe it was the water report, and Grey Highlands was up at the top. We were somewhere in the mid to lower half. Compared to Orangeville and other major centers. So I mean, I still hear, as well as Councillor John, you know, the concerns about the high water rates, because the individuals that are not used to it are coming from the larger GTA areas. Yeah, it's a difficult one, user pay. And if the debt can be expanded for a longer period of time, that brings the charges down, but then all the other costs get added on. So the whole point of this is exploration, and all of that will have to be flushed out. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Call the question. All those in favor? That is carried. The next report from Jim here is a request for tender release for architect and engineering services for Keppel Street Municipal. Someone care to move that, please? Barb, and seconded by Jim. Jim.
Yes, we brought this report forward. The final sale is going to court for approval on July 20th. We have signed the purchase and sales agreement, and so has the receiver for the buildings and the properties. We are proposing to release this RFT because of the lame duck period and getting people involved and being able to approve which budgets we can use prior to that. Hoping to bring this back to council before the August period. At this point in time, we've reached out to some firms. We've also opened this up that an architect can sub an engineer, or an engineering firm can sub an architect, because a lot of local players that could be involved with this do not have a combination of services. So this opens up the field a little bit for us, and having bigger firms from, say, Toronto or even further, those bigger areas. There are some in the vicinity, maybe Owen Sound, Orangeville, Kitchener or something like that, but we just thought this would open it up for local contracts as well to be able to administer. Again, this would be a phased approach. Currently, we'd meet and bring together our ideas that staff and council has had some involvement a little bit, but of how to renovate the offices, get a elevator, what's required for fire and public works to be there, and council chambers where it could be situated. So we're looking to release this and bring that back in within the timelines that council can approve something with whatever that pricing that'll come in for this work. It's anticipated it'll take 4 or 5, 6 months for design and planning, and maybe even a shorter window for contract work to begin and get the job done. So it's looking right now, if we go by this timetable, that we would have actual contractor construction renovation work being done next spring, early sometime, and then hopefully be able to move towards being at the facility sometime later summer of 27 or fall of 27.
Very good. Thank you, Jim. Any questions? Joan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Jim, do you have any plans in there like for a bigger room? I noticed you have confidential meeting rooms, like a room where you could have a wedding with at least 200 people, or an event or something like that. Were you thinking of having like, what do we call it? More like a hall or a conference center? It's the spaces that we have here really don't hold a lot of people, and I think we're kind of running out of spaces, and I can attest to that yesterday. Thanks.
Jim?
Currently, we could bring that forward, but currently we don't have a concept for that large of room, but obviously we can present it as an option. Whatever that council chambers may look like, I'm not sure if it'll hold 200. Currently, we don't need a capacity as we see for 200, maybe the odd time, but we can, there's lots of options available, so we can present the ideas and see what comes back for council to look at.
Yep. Thanks, Jim. So, yeah, go ahead, Joan, please.
It's not only for that kind of event, though. It could be for a wedding, a graduation party, or something like that, because people always have to go outside of Dundalk if they're doing anything like that. It's always rented outside of Dundalk. So it's not just for what we would think of a celebration, or it could even be for conferences, because sometimes we're having conferences and we go outside of Dundalk where we could support something in Dundalk. And so went outside.
It'd be interesting to see what an architect could come up with when you threw that kind of idea at them. See what they come up with. Good idea. Jason, and then Barb.
Well, kind of just following up on Jones. I'm a little, Jim, you had mentioned that what council and what staff wants, but I really don't feel like we've had enough discussion between us what we want yet. So I was just wondering how that, like, what is the how am I trying to word this? Do we know what we want yet? We're gonna hire an architect to tell us, but I don't feel that staff and the council has had enough interaction on what we want. That's just a comment, I guess.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, Jim?
Yeah, so totally agree, Jason. We are going to bring public into the engagement process. We're more than likely in the next meeting or so bringing a proposal that Grey County has supported for a media platform called Social Pinpoint. And the lower tiers are looking at going into that model. We do have some last year. We had the information, had budget information that we plugged into the budget, and we're subsequently meeting currently about that engagement platform and looking to bring that forward. We're also been talking with planning about doing a Lego building exercise with the public for the downtown core and how that may build out and look. So yeah, we're kind of maybe a little bit of ahead, but we need to get ahead right now or we're gonna be so far behind that we will not be able to do anything till we have a new council. So that's the predicament we're in.
Yeah, I would fully expect that the architect or whoever is engaged to do the work would have an opportunity or would take the opportunity to meet with the public, the community, to get some ideas as to what they might want to see happen. Just as Joan pointed out, there's a need or a desire to have a larger meeting center. It would be very interesting to see what the community is looking for, and I think that's an exercise that the architect or whoever gets the contract should do. Barb.
Thank you. And I echo Jason and Joan's comments. Also, I think the importance of a multi-use facility that we had planned was to have those gathering spaces, that larger hall. At some point in the last term of council, we had, we could build a hall. Well, we need it to be multifunctional. We definitely need a larger hall, but as you said, Jim, this is it'll be a phased approach. We have property that has potential. There are perhaps other opportunities. There's community groups that could rally to support that kind of structure. And my question is kind of feeding off Jason's. The architect can come up with some potential thoughts. If we just go out to the public and say, what do you think it could be? We will have everything over the map. But if we go with a vision, then they can then give us their feedback and provide, well, what if you did this and enhance those ideas? My question was more to that brainstorming piece. We haven't had an opportunity to meet as a group, as staff, as council, with whomever this is going to be. And I think that's the plan, where we'll sit down, we'll have a visioning session and throw out, Post-its on the wall, or what thoughts are we coming up with? Like, a park, soccer fields, council chambers, the need to be able to expand the room if we are inundated with the public. Those types of things for this facility, but then a vision for the rest of Dundalk. I love the Lego idea. I've been in those exercises before. I'm not very good at it, but it is interesting to get everybody putting their thoughts on the map.
Thank you, Barb. Anyone else? Oh, Monica, go ahead, please.
Hi there. Good morning, everyone. And just through you, Chair, just really been enjoying the conversation with regards to this report. And I do also echo Member DeBreen, Joan, John, and Jason, and everybody. Just a follow up, I agree with everyone. I do think that there's already been some discussions in the public and things of obviously wanting to have a space where people could congregate and come together. With that being said, was there a look at, and I think Member DeBreen just touched on it with regards to repurposing current buildings and areas that we have already in space. I think the visioning part is very important, but perhaps we could take a look and start with what we already have and get that going in a way that would be able to answer some of the requests that are happening in the community. And just a little side point to that with regards to having kind of working tables, short, not so expensive in terms of budget, but getting a task force or a working table together of community representatives, some of the political people on council, and then also staff. So I would want to present that question to CAO.
Jim, please.
So, yeah, we can look at those. We can bring them back to council for direction, unless there's direction at this point in time. If you're thinking of establishing a task force, but I think right now if we just look for public engagement on a path that we're making forward right now and getting that architect kind of involved in the vision on how to keep proceeding forward and how to bring that into the public realm and help us with that. But and again, I mentioned the social platform that we're looking at that we're hoping that would implement and be in time ahead of this final of, you know, before final approval for consultation. But I think that asking to pull together a task force right now and this would maybe delay this process. We're not going to be able to get things done and award an architect in time because of the costs above the that's allowable for lame duck, that we will be waiting till next year. So we're going to lose significant time.
Yeah, so the timeline is just to get the architect or the engineer in place. It's not to put a final plan in place, right? Everybody understands that, okay?
Yeah, just a
Jason,
follow.
sorry, yeah, go ahead, follow up, please, Monica.
Yeah, just a follow comment. Absolutely. Thank you, Sayo, for that. And I didn't mean for now, just something just to kind of keep in mind with the discussion regarding public consultation. But I love the Lego idea too. So thank you.
Very good, thank you, Monica. Jason.
Well, I think you answered my question, but that was my question. With our timeline and lame duck, are we gonna be making the final decision or no? It'll be the new council as well, just kind of, I understand your timeline, but you know what I mean? Is it gonna be us, or is it gonna be the new council, or is it gonna be some of both?
Jim?
I would presume by the timing and how this has to play out, that it'll more than likely be the new council. This council will be involved up to a point, but by the time we have all the options that are considered with architect and engineering, this will not be in this council's term.
Right. Well, okay. Oh, Barb, go ahead.
I guess one final thought, and it echoes what Councillor Rice said at our last meeting when we brought this out, was that this is a very important project. There is a lot of potential and it's going to cost significantly to design it. We need to take the time. We need to engage in order to get it right. And if I may quote you on those, we need to get it right. So I'm all for, let's get the first step is to engage and get someone that we can work with to help design the future of this 8 acres.
Very good. Okay. I'll call the question. Oh, anyone else? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Final report from Jim is regarding the county hybrid planning services model decision. Someone care to move that, please? Barb and Joan. Jim?
So we're bringing us back to the table. We've been going through this process for well over a year now, plus. We're at a point right now that the county needs to know who's opting in and who's opting out. It doesn't totally put us in that position. It, again, is trying to figure out if we're in or not. So based on that and looking at some of how the financials have been laid out, it looks like it's in the interest of the township that it could have cost savings. But we're still cautioned a little bit on how that totally looks. Maybe Kayla would like to speak to that a little bit, and if she wants to chime in right now, and then I'll come back with some other comments.
Okay. Kayla, did you want to add anything? Welcome.
Good morning. You can hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Thank you. For the costing, there is a lot of moving pieces to this. So as much as staff try to get an accurate number, it can still shift. And you can see that it's not significant, but there are savings to be had. So as mentioned in the previous report and in this report, I think that there are a lot of other factors other than the financial that need to be taken into consideration for this.
Okay, thank you. Jim, did you want to add some more?
Yeah, so I've kind of got some mixed feelings with this as well. Again, this is how it looks on paper, but we're providing a great service right now in our planning department. As the mayor has noted, we're always one person away from being in a position that we're down in the department and recruiting again. But I still feel somewhat of an analogy that, you know, we've got this general store that we've had working for a long time servicing our needs. And again, we have been in a position that we have been treading water and not swimming very well, but currently that's not our state. But and then going from the general store to the big box store or whatever, it just, you know, it seems like the community, our planning services are a good source, and in a good place. So I just kind of caution that sometimes those thoughts come into your back of your mind of the services we provide and how well we're doing with our team. Not saying that this team shifts totally, but it does look a different dynamic, and there is a different reporting mechanism that's laid out in between it that, you know, how we haven't had to play that out yet, so we don't know how that works. I've had a conversation with Bill White regarding this. He's went through it personally in past experiences in other areas of the province, and found that it was good at the beginning, but it didn't always last. And I take those words. Bill's been around for a long time, and he's seen a lot, and him being a planner himself. So I just want to present that to council that even though the recommendation is to opt in at this point in time, it's with mixed feelings.
Yeah, no doubt it's a big step. Thank you, Jim. Jason.
Well, I appreciate your comments, Jim. I feel the same. I'm on the fence. I do worry a little bit. I mean, I'm all for cost savings with our old order Mennonite community here, whether, you know, when they don't email, when they don't, whether we'll get the same service for them when they have to come into the office. So that's a concern of mine, and I'm on the fence as well, but that's a big concern with me where they don't have computers and stuff. Are they going to get the same service further away?
Maybe Jim or Ken, would you be? Oh, Kayla, go ahead, Kayla, please.
Thank you. So it has been stated by the county that they intend on keeping this setup the same. So if we currently have a planner 3 days a week in our Southgate office, that would continue.
Thank you. Ken?
Good morning, your worship, members of council. Just to give you a sort of state of where we are with the current model. Both Victoria and I have days where we work from home. What we do is we actually offset. So if I'm in the office, then that's probably Victoria's day that she's working from home, and back and forth. We do our best to try to not overlap vacations. That's sometimes unavoidable. You know, I might get sick, Victoria does, but generally we have at least one body in the office at all times, or at least we do our best to try to achieve that.
Thank you for that. Okay, any other questions? Barb, go ahead.
Thank you. And while the cost savings appear to be minimal, the potential for succession planning, for that coverage in those instances where we find ourselves treading water again, the ability to remain if you're hired to work in Southgate, you're going to continue to work in Southgate. But if, let's say, development drops off, then that person may not find themselves worried about having a job. There may be other opportunities for them to work within Grey County. So I think opting in is a healthy decision at this stage. And when we had our joint building services, we thought it was a great idea. It worked for a while and until it didn't. And, we here in Southgate and in Grey County are good at pivoting. So I think we explore it a little bit further, and I think it's a good decision with ongoing monitoring.
Thank you. Anyone else? Joan, please.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor. Is there an opt-out period? Like, what if you guys try it and you don't like it? How soon can you opt out of it? Or do you have to stay for a period of time? Is there something like that in it? If it's not working for us?
Jim?
Yes, there is an opt-out as well, but when you opt out, whoever's transferred to the county will remain with the county. Will be down and then looking to fill the voids that we won't have people working for us. So there is that option, but there would be recruitment involved.
Kayla, I saw you were maybe going to unmute there. Did you have something else to add?
I was just going to say that just like most other agreements, there is a termination clause in there. So I don't have it right in front of me, but I believe it was 90 days or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Barb?
It's a good question and a concern, obviously, about what happens to our planning department if it folds. The other side of that, I suppose, is we are already competing with the county and with our 8 other municipalities for planners in order to, how do we attract them to Southgate versus they might want to go to Georgian Bluffs or the Blue Mountains. So yeah, it's double-edged sword, I guess, but exploring is good.
Any other thoughts, questions? Joan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it's all about exploring and experience and all of that, but I know we had problem getting our planning department together, and now it's a great department, and then we're opting into something else. I mean, it's you guys' decision, but for staff coming up with this, do you think this is the best decision for you guys, or do you think this is the best thing that we should do?
The recommendation is to go that direction, so I would expect they think that's where we should be going. But Jim, go ahead.
The recommendation is basically based on, is there cost savings? Potentially, it looks like some. The other important piece is that we have the flexibility if by chance our planning department staff move on and having to recruit and replace. So that's where the benefits mostly lie.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim. Any other thoughts, questions? Okay, Barb has asked for a recorded vote, so if there's no further discussion, Madam Deputy Clerk, would you take the poll, please?
Thank you, Mayor Milne. So through you, recorded vote for CAO 2026014, the County Hybrid Planning Service Model Decision. Councillor Rice?
Yes.
Councillor John?
No.
Deputy Mayor Dobreen?
Yes. Yes.
Councillor Singsors?
Yes.
Councillor Shipston is absent. Mayor Milne?
In favor.
And Councillor Ferguson?
Yes.
By a vote of 5-1, that's carried.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Jim, for those reports. Kayla has a solid connection with us now. So we'll go back to the HR department report. There is 2 here from Kayla. The first one is regarding market evaluation. We have a mover and seconder. So Kayla, please.
Thank you, and sorry for the technical difficulties.
No worries.
So, as mentioned in this report, some good news that our CAO, Jim Ellis, had won a complimentary market evaluation during the event that he attended. which is great because our market evaluation was due upcoming anyways. So this is great timing as far as that goes. And even further, this gives us an opportunity to do the market evaluation prior to our budget planning for 2027. So this report is to let council know about the market evaluation that we'll be completing and also to get approval on comparators that we want to use for this market evaluation. This is something we generally do with council. We bring the comparators for approval so that you know who we're using when we're going through this process. We did change the comparators slightly from last time. Last time we did use Grey County as a whole, like any municipality within Grey County, as well as Wellington North. This time we took a look at the distance and municipalities of a similar size and going through the same or having similar services. So that's where we came up with our recommendation here.
Okay, thank you, Kayla. Barb has a question. Go ahead.
Thank you. And through you to Kayla. The town of Hanover hasn't normally been on our radar because it's mostly urban. Can you just elaborate on why we're going to include them now? Not that I have a problem with it, just they are mostly urban.
Yes. So we have included them in the past just because we included all Grey County municipalities in the past. We didn't exclude them. There are certain services that not all municipalities in our comparator group would have, such as water, whereas the town of Hanover would have those types of positions.
Any other questions? Okay, call the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Madam Clerk?
Counselor Singsource, are you still in the meeting? She's just stepped out for a second. Absent from that one.
Okay, very good. Carry on with the next HR report, which is, where did it go? There we go. Folded the wrong way. Hiring, an updated hiring policy. Someone care to move that, please? Joan? Seconder? Jim? Thank you. Kayla?
Yes, this is an update to our existing hiring policy. Although it looks like there's a lot of updates, a lot of it is wording updates and some rearranging of sections. We did make some updates due to strong mayor powers and also some best practices, as well as to align better with current practices and what makes sense when we're going through some of these processes. And I'll just take any questions.
Okay, thank you, Kayla. Are there any questions, thoughts? Barb?
Thank you. It's a question more about strong mayor power. So is there, in the policy, it just says the strong mayor's decision is final. Is there, they can hire and fire the CAO or other municipal staff, reorganize. Is there no veto power for that? I mean, when we have the budget, the mayor presents the budget, we can make amendments, the mayor can veto the amendment, and then we can, with a 2/3 majority, we can veto the veto. I just wondered if you can answer that question. Thank you.
Kayla?
I cannot answer that question off the top of my head. I would have to look at the legislation. I don't know if Holly's familiar with it off the top of her head either.
Holly?
Thanks, through the mayor. Just taking a quick look at the legislation. It doesn't appear that way, but I will continue to look and give you a firm answer.
I would suspect, if I had to guess, I would suspect that the legislation, provincial legislation, would override any policy that we would put in place, as it does generally for anything else. But Barb?
Thank you. And this goes to the superpower of the new mayors having this ability to just hire and fire at will really erodes democracy. And I'm not sure, this is just a comment, a speech, I don't know. I still have a problem with how reorganizing a municipality at will advances the provincial priorities of the province as far as building more homes. Because when you have that kind of disruption, then I would say everything stalls. You can't hire people, you can't find the right people, and then everything else gets delayed. So I just don't know how this superpower actually advances the building of more homes. But thank you. It has nothing to do with the hiring policy. Thank you.
Doesn't like strong mayor powers. If in case you didn't quite catch that, she doesn't like it. I don't like it either, but here we are. Any other comments, questions? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any notice of motion? Okay, don't see any. Consent agenda. There is a plethora of reports there, letters, conference reports. Anybody wish any of those removed for further discussion or direction? Joan?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to get some more information on item 11.4.
11.4. Oh yeah, here we are. Okay. Anyone else have anything they wish to remove? Okay, so the motion will be it resolved that council receive the consent agenda dated July 2nd of this year. Save and accept item 11.4 for information. Jim will move that. Barb will second. All those in favor? That is carried. Okay, Joan, you wish to discuss 11.4, which is Edgewood Greens Phase 9 Agreement Minor Amendment.
Yeah.
You want to move that or?
Yeah.
Okay, is there a seconder? Jim, thank you. Go ahead, Joan, if you'd like to. Or perhaps maybe I'll ask Jim, or whose report is that? Sorry. Is that your report, Jim? Oh, Ken, I'll ask you to maybe comment on the report first and then we'll go to Joan's question.
Yes, thank you, your worship. I wasn't sure how this worked either, so. The report before you is mainly to advise council of a small requested change from the folks that are doing Edgewood Greens Phase 9. This comes from the financial institution that's issuing the surety bond that they are taking out for the securities related to the subdivision agreement. As council will recall, we had a report to a previous council for the subdivision agreement. It was conditional on the securities, and they have chosen to use a surety bond, which is a new form of security that the province has issued. This request is really coming out of just the ever-changing nature of how surety bonds are working and some requirements with the financial institution that they need more time when the surety is activated in terms of their process to be able to allow the surety to be used. So during the course of the negotiation of the subdivision agreement, there was a much longer period of time that had been proposed. Our legal counsel was not happy with that. We put back a shorter period of time. We kind of landed on the number that was in the subdivision agreement. From what I understand, there might have been a slight miscommunication between the developer and the financial institution, and maybe we cut it a bit too short. So they've come back with this request. And since the subdivision agreement has not been endorsed and registered on title because they haven't submitted their securities, bit of a chicken and egg situation. In talking with Lindsay and with our council, we felt that the request was reasonable. We could do it this way and just move forward.
Joan, follow up or question?
Yeah, I don't know. So you said it's from the bank? The bank is the one that is slowing down the financial agreement? That's the reason why they want to change it from 7 days to 10 days? 3 days of a difference. I don't know. I'm just a little wary. Developer, financial institution, asking for a little bit more time and they just started. I have my drawbacks. They're having all this great big wonderful plan. They're going to be selling houses, but they don't know the cost of the house that they're going to be selling, and now they want 3 more days. It's just my concern. I just wanted a little bit more information on this since it didn't come in here. It coming on the consent agenda. That's it. Thank
So through your worship, just to give some context, the original agreement that was proposed or that we were commenting on before it came to council was actually 15 days. And our legal counsel responded back and said, no, we'd like less. My understanding from what we received from the developer is that we just cut it too short for their process in order for the financial institution. Should we activate the securities, which is the other big consideration, that we have cut them too short to be able to actually allow that to proceed.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Barb?
So if I go to cash a check at an institution and they want to hold the check for 7 days, that's their process. And so what you're saying is that it's not the developer who they're putting up the bond. The bond isn't the problem. It's whether or not we choose to draw on the bond, activate the bond, the institution, the bank, whatever the lending institution requires now 10 days, or they've agreed to, they can push it through in 10 days as in order to administer the check in very basic terms.
Correct.
Anyone else? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That is carried. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Joan, for the question. General announcements. Anybody have anything they wish to share with Joan? Please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was in Jamaica and I got the chance to attend Parliament. Of course, I mentioned Southgate. We got acknowledged.
Cool.
Which was great. It's very different from our parliament. Well, I actually went to the parliament and I sat in the Senate, and I also met in my parish where I'm from, the St. Thomas Parish Council. I actually sat with the councillors and the CAO. And the CAO want to connect with you, Jim, I should say. So that was a great experience while I was away. It's a complete different scenario. Like, I wasn't supposed to take pictures, but I did take a picture.
Why am I not surprised?
It was just so different because in Parliament, the speaker was up there chatting through the entire process with somebody else, and the guy answered his phone in Parliament. So I took a picture. But it was really different, and the amount of security that you had to pass through from the time you enter the street, you're blocked off, and you go through like 6 different checkpoints before you actually get into Parliament. But yeah. Thank you.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything? Monica, Monica, did you have your hand up?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, and then I'll come back to you, Joan.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'll just make it quick. Just through you, Chair, just to everybody, Happy Canada Day to everyone yesterday. I hope everyone survived the heat. I know I got a little bit under the weather from it, but we keep going, and just want to say congratulations to all of the Southgate celebrations that happened. I believe that there was one that happened in Dundalk through JCI, and there was over 200 people that were there. Sorry I couldn't make it. I wish I could have. And again, just wanted to say Happy Canada Day to everybody and all of the festivities that took place. And I'm sure others will be commenting on the other festivities.
Thank you, Monica. Joan? Did you have something else?
Thank you. Yes, yesterday we had a great Canada Day. I just want to thank the township for having a booth there. I know it was very, very odd. It was like my kind of Jamaica weather, but I want to thank you guys for having a booth there and all the other people that attended the Y and Southeast Great Community Health Center. Just want to say thanks to them for always collaborating with us.
Thank you, Joe. Yes, indeed, it was a great event. Anyone else? Barb?
Well, speaking of Canada Day, we also had fireworks in Holstein, but through the day, they had the car show. They had hamburgers and hot dogs and around supper time. And then they also had a dog agility demonstration leading right into the fireworks festival. I could hear the dogs and the children from the parking lot out by Love Sweetness Sugar Bush. So it was everybody was having a good time, and the fireworks display once again did not disappoint.
All right, moving on, we have two bylaws to consider. Be it resolved that the following bylaws dated today, save and accept. Does anyone wish either of the bylaws to be removed for further direction or discussion? Not seeing any, be read first, second, and third time, finally passed, signed by the mayor and the clerk, deputy clerk, sealed with the seal of the corporation and entered into the bylaw book. And the two bylaws are a road widening for Jonathan and Barbara Martin and adoption of policy number 8, the hiring policy, which was discussed earlier. Jim will move that. Joan will second. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you. We do have a closed meeting. Be it resolved that council proceed into closed session at 10:01 in order to address matters relating to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. Specifically, the subject is the CAO review 6-month update, and that all those required remain in attendance. Someone care to move? Jim? Thank you. Second, Jason. All those in favor? That is carried. Yes, let's take a 5-10 minute recess and then we'll convene in the closed meeting room. Okay, we'll bring the meeting back to order in open session here and confirm that we only discussed those items that were listed on the in-camera agenda. Confirming bylaw. Jim will move that. Jason will second. All those in favor? That is carried. One final motion, Jim and Bob. All those in favor to adjourn.